Tonight, K-File investigates. In a new report you'll see first out front, the K-File team scoured Kamala Harris's tweets and statements going all the way back to 2017. And what they found was more than 50 instances of Harris slamming Trump's border wall. But now, new Harris campaign ads actually showcase that very wall.
As a border state prosecutor, she took on drug cartels and jailed gang members for smuggling weapons and drugs across the border.
And on top of critical tweets, Harris also wrote in her 2019 book, quote, "There was a bigger reason to oppose the border wall. A useless wall on the southern border would be nothing more than a symbol, a monument standing in opposition to not just everything I value, but to the fundamental values upon which this country was built. How could I vote to build what would be little more than a monument designed to send the cold, hard message, keep out?" So, Andrew, I mean, you all have gone through, scoured an incredible amount of material. Tell me more about what you found.
Yeah, that's right. We found more than 50 of those tweets criticizing the border wall before she used that in her ad. And I want people to take a look at just a few of what she said here. She called it wasteful, useless, a waste of taxpayer money, a vanity wall project, a wasteful border wall, a stupid wall, a medieval vanity project, and an unnecessary wall. And those are really just, there were more, this was like 10 or like 50, but there was really a lot of this. Was the common refrain during the campaign. You read that quote where she said it was against everything that not only she stood for, everything America stood for, but and she brought this up a lot. Take a listen to just one instance of that in 2019.
It's the president's vanity project.
His multi-billion-dollar vanity project called a wall is nothing more than a distraction from the fact that he actually hasn't focused on working people in America. He contrived a national crisis around his big distraction.
All right, so you go through all of that, you've got all the tweets, and yet all of a sudden in the ads, there's pictures of the wall, and then you went through to look at that wall. Yeah. Like, what is that specific wall that's in her campaign ads now? And you found something very interesting about this specific portion of the wall.
And I think what's also really remarkable about this is, you heard her talking about it there, Trump's wall in his campaign during his presidency. There was really no greater symbol of Trump's presidency than the wall, in the way that Democrats were attacking him over the wall and his restrictive immigration policies. So we looked in that ad, and that exact area of wall is in Sasabe, Arizona, and that is a portion of wall that was actually built by Donald Trump. It was built in an area where there was not previous wall. It was actually pretty controversial when they were building it at the time.
She's using his wall that he built to say, look at what I did, basically.
And the other images of the wall, we weren't able to pinpoint, but there's telltale signs that was a Trump wall, because there's an anti-climbing plate on top that became popularized during the Trump years.
It's really incredible reporting and important, all right?
Now, meanwhile, Harris's running mate, Tim Walz, he's nursing a bruised ego after some of his relatives from Nebraska openly declared their support for Donald Trump. They've even posted a family photo wearing Trump shirts. Now, Charles Herbster posted the image of 8 family members, distant supposedly to the Minnesota governor, wearing matching tops which say Nebraska Walz's family for Trump. Adam, it's going to be an awkward Christmas if the Democrats lose, isn't it?
Yeah, certainly. That is very embarrassing. Indeed, the photo was so embarrassing, people thought that it might have been fake, but it is apparently real. What's funny about that is most of the media over here is all over the nieces and nephews of Donald Trump, who, of course, hate him. They're always saying that. But so far, they haven't been all over this photo, so they should be. And actually, it's worth pointing out, it's not just the Walzes. It's also Barack Obama's his older half-brother has also been tweeting that he'll be supporting Trump. So a few issues with family members on the campaign.
What do they say? You can't choose your family. I want to ask you quickly about Republican former Representative Liz Cheney. She's just announced that she'll vote Democrat at the election. Have a listen.
Because of the danger that Donald Trump poses, not only am I not voting for Donald Trump, but I will be voting for Kamala Harris.
Well, that's nice, but of course, back in 2020, Liz Cheney was calling Kamala Harris a radical liberal who was further to the left than Bernie Sanders. Here she is.
in one fell swoop here, he has put somebody on the ticket whose voting record in the Senate is to the left of Bernie Sanders and Elizabeth Warren. So I think that, the American people are going to look at the substance of this. They're going to look at what she stood for in the past. They're going to look at what she said during the primary election. And it's very clear. She is a radical liberal.
Okay, so you're allowed to change your mind, but what is going on there?
Well, she's probably auditioning for a cabinet spot, actually, I would say, if Kamala Harris wins. I mean, the Vice President said recently that she would have a Republican in her cabinet, and I think Liz Cheney would be the perfect option for her. She's hated Trump for a very, very long time, so it was really no surprise that she's come out against him, and I don't think it's going to make any difference at all to the votes.
Has defected from the party to vote for Trump this time. It's former Democrat leader of the California State Senate.
Today, I say goodbye. Adios. I've had enough. I will vote for Donald Trump this fall.
You just heard from Gloria Romero. She joins us now. Gloria, of all the reasons Democrats gave you to leave their party, what was the one that pushed you over the edge?
Good morning. Good to be with you. Well, it's been a bit of a reckoning, I believe. But to me, really, the major issue that prompted this reexamination of my political conscience was the complete eradication by the so-called Party of Democracy when 14 million votes in Democratic primaries were just thrown out, including mine. And similar to what we say happens in a banana republic, where what we say the dedazo is used in order to appoint who's going to be the political leader. That's essentially what happened by my party, and I was not going to sit still for it. And this followed already rigged primaries. But overall, I could take a look at a number of issues: the march towards endless wars, the censorship, which was being approved by this Democratic administration, the soaring crime, open borders that are creating just havoc, and a mockery of what we even mean by citizenship. And then my long-term issue is really the continued state of school failures and the role of Kamala Harris in actually perpetuating school failure in California.
Yeah, let's get into that. These numbers are absolutely atrocious. African American and Latino students in California have continued to fall behind in both their reading and math proficiency. 17%, 23%, 30%. I mean, anything below 50 is wrong, and those are way below 50. So you blame Kamala in part for these failings. Why, Gloria?
Well, first of all, we could look at her home district, Oakland, California. And today, as we speak, 75% of both African-American and Latino students are not reading or doing math at proficiency levels established by the government. When she was Attorney General, she she passed legislation, helped to pass legislation that would throw parents of kids who are truant into jail. But mind you that at the same time, there were students in California. It was the Vergara case that was actually won at the county level, which basically said the state of California must bring about reforms, being able to fire teachers easier, making sure that we have quality teachers in the classroom, not having this tenure for life, a lot of evaluations. What did Kamala do? Hitched to the very powerful teachers union, she went to court to overturn the lower decision that was held up by these parents of children just looking for quality schools in California. So that's what she did, as being the prosecutor in California. She basically prosecuted to make sure that California would keep a failing system of education. And I think most Americans should think about that, because education, without a strong education, we're not going to have a vibrant economy.
Especially those mothers in swing states. They have to be all ears to what you just said. Gloria Romero, thank you for your time, and congratulations on your switch.
Scour, scour, slam, slam, monument, monument, vanity, vanity, contrive, contrive, refrain, refrain, telltale, telltale, audition, audition, tenure, tenure, eradication, eradication, soaring, soaring, atrocious, atrocious, perpetuating, perpetuating, mockery, mockery, havoc, havoc.
If you enjoy this content, please consider subscribing to my channel to stay up to date with future videos. Thank you for watching.